Imagine this. You've finally done it, bought your dream home, brand new, looks perfect. But just as you're about to move in, you get that nagging feeling. Is it really okay underneath? You know, structurally sound, no hidden problems waiting to pop up. Well, these aren't just anxieties, they're real concerns. And thankfully, there's some important law that actually tackles this. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into the Housing Consumers Protection Measures Act 95 of 1998. Now, this isn't just some dusty old law. It's really the foundation set up to protect, well, probably your biggest investment, your home. So whether you're maybe looking to buy a new place, or perhaps you're a law student digging into consumer rights, or honestly just curious about the rules behind everyday stuff. Our mission today is to unpack this act. We'll look at, why it exists, its key parts, how it fits legally, what it means for you practically. And yeah, we'll even touch on its future because things are changing there too. And just so you know, our information comes straight from the Consolidated Act itself, authoritative stuff.
That's right. And what's really key here, I think, is how this act changes the whole game for home building. It moves things away from just buyer beware.
Right.
It sets up clear responsibilities, puts the onus on the builder, and creates a safety net for homeowners. It's about building trust, literally.
I like that. Building trust. So let's start big picture, the what and the why. What's this act fundamentally trying to do?
Okay, so at its heart, the purpose is sort of twofold. First, protect housing consumers, people buying homes. And second, set up a body to make sure the protection happens. That's the National Home Builders Registration Council, the NHBRC.
NHBRC. Got it.
So right away, it tells you the law saw this power imbalance between the buyer and the builder.
Makes sense.
And it stepped in to try and level things. It sets standards and, really importantly, gives you a way to get things fixed if they go wrong.
Okay, a way to get things fixed. That sounds good.
Yeah.
And these housing consumers, who exactly is that? Just the very first person who buys the house?
No, and this is actually quite powerful. A housing consumer isn't just someone buying a home. It's also someone who has bought one. And here's the really interesting bit. It explicitly says, includes such person's successor in title.
Successor in title. What does that mean in plain English?
It means the protection isn't just tied to the first owner. If you buy a home and then, say, 3 years later you sell it, the new owner inherits certain protections from the builder for the remainder of the warranty period.
Ah, okay. So the builder's responsibility sticks with the house, not just the first buyer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is great for resale value, and it, encourages builders to think long-term quality. They can't just hope the first owner doesn't notice anything major.
That's a really crucial detail for anyone buying or selling.
Yeah.
Okay, flip side then. Who's being regulated? Who counts as a home builder?
The Act defines it pretty broadly. It's not just the crew physically building the house.
Okay.
It's anyone who carries on the business of a home builder. That means constructing for someone else, building houses to sell or rent, or even just selling a newly built home as the main seller.
So developers too.
Absolutely. Developers, contractors.
Yeah.
If your business involves providing new homes, you're likely covered. It clarifies that broad responsibility.
Okay, that makes sense for covering all the bases. Now, this act is from 1998. Has it just stayed the same since then?
Oh, no, definitely not. It's been a bit of a living document.
Okay.
It was signed into law in 98, but different parts actually started at different times in 99.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been amended several times, 99, 2001, 2007. They kept tweaking it, refining the protections.
So it adapted.
Exactly.
Right.
And looking forward, there's actually a new act, the Housing Consumer Protection Act of 2024, that's set to repeal and replace this one.
Oh, really? So this one's on its way out?
Eventually, yes. The date hasn't been set yet, but it's coming. Which makes understanding this 1998 Act even more important, really. It's the foundation for whatever comes next. You need to know the roots to understand the new tree, so to speak.
Good analogy. Does it apply to absolutely everyone building a home? Any exceptions?
Generally, it applies to anyone in the business of home building, but there's a specific carve-out for what they call owner builders.
Owner builders?
Yeah, someone using their own labor, building a home just for themselves to live in if it's part of an approved people's housing process project.
Okay, so specific self-build situations often linked to state housing help.
Precisely. It acknowledges that the usual builder-consumer relationship isn't quite the same there.
Understood. Right, so we've got the what and why. Let's get into the how. You mentioned the NHBRC, the National Home Builders Registration Council, the watchdog. What is this body, legally speaking, and what's its main job?
So the NHBRC, set up by the Act, is what's called a juristic person.
Juristic person. Sounds fancy.
It just means it's a legal entity, like a company. It can own things, make contracts, sue people, be sued, all in its own name. It's separate from the people running it.
Okay. And its mission.
It's got several key jobs. It provides warranty protection against defects for you, the consumer. It regulates the whole home building industry to protect people from builders who might fail. And it also works to promote ethical standards, technical standards, basically improve the quality of building.
So protector, regulator, standard setter. A lot of hats.
Definitely. And it also champions consumer rights, provides information, and even helps builders get registered and keep up with standards.
Who actually sits on this council? How do they make sure it represents everyone?
Right. The council has between 7 and 15 members, and they are appointed by the minister. But the key thing is the minister has to ensure the council is broadly representative, meaning it includes people from all sides: consumers, builders, suppliers, related professions like engineers or architects, plus people with skills in things like finance, law, and officials from key government departments like housing and trade and industry.
So a real mix of expertise and viewpoints.
Yeah, the idea is to get balanced decisions that consider everyone involved.
Makes sense. What actual powers does the NHBRC have to get things done?
They've got quite a range of powers. On the regulatory side, they can set up committees, like disciplinary ones. They keep the official register of home builders. They can register them, but also kick them off if necessary.
Okay.
They issue rules and guidelines. And crucially for consumers, they set up and manage that fund we talked about, the one to help out if a builder fails on major defects.
The safety net fund.
Exactly. They also help resolve disputes, inform you about your rights, enroll homes for protection, inspect building work, and publish the technical standards in the home building manual.
Wow, that's a lot. And transparency, how easy is it for me as a potential buyer to check up on a builder?
That's covered too, and it's really important. The NHBRC has to keep a database.
A database of?
Registered builders, yes, but also those who've been suspended or deregistered. And it's not just names. It includes details like who the directors are, how many homes they've enrolled, any valid complaints against them, maybe even their quality grading.
And can I access this easily?
Yes. Access is free for consumers using it for non-commercial reasons. Mortgage lenders, conveyancers, they can also access it. It's a vital tool for doing your homework before you sign anything.
That is incredibly useful. Okay, let's shift to how this works day to day. The first big requirement is mandatory registration for builders. What does that involve?
This is absolutely fundamental. The law is crystal clear.
Yep.
No person shall carry on the business of a home builder unless that person is a registered home builder, period.
So no registration, no building business.
Correct. It's meant to weed out people who aren't qualified or maybe aren't entirely reputable. To get registered, a builder has to apply, ensure they meet certain standards: financial stability, technical know-how, management skills, construction ability.
It's like a vetting process.
Exactly. To make sure they're not posing an unacceptable risk to you, the consumer, or to the council itself, which might have to pay out later.
We mentioned the owner-builder exemption earlier, but what if a regular builder just doesn't register or breaks the rules?
There are consequences. The NHBRC can withdraw or suspend their registration.
For what kinds of things?
Oh, things like consistently failing to comply with the act, not fixing defects, not paying their fees, even just not responding to the council's communications. It has teeth.
Good to know. Now, let's talk about the contract itself, the agreement you sign. What does the act demand there, and what about those built-in protections you mentioned?
Right, the agreement. This is where your rights really take shape. The act says any agreement to build or sell a new home must be in writing.
Okay, no verbal agreements.
No. It has to be signed, list all the important terms, price, payment schedule, everything, and it must include the plans and specifications as attachments.
Seems thorough.
It is. But here's the really powerful part. Even if they're not written into your specific contract, certain warranties are automatically considered part of the deal. They're deemed to be included.
Automatically? What kind of warranties?
Key ones. That the home will be built properly, in a workmanlike manner. That it'll be fit for habitation, safe and livable. And that it meets the NHBRC's technical requirements and matches the plans you agreed on.
Okay, quality and safety standards.
Yes. And then there are specific timeframes for fixing things.
Like what?
The builder must fix any major structural defects at their own cost for at least 5 years after you occupy the home.
5 years for major issues. What counts as major?
Things affecting the structural integrity, serious foundation problems, roof collapsing, that sort of thing. Stuff needing major repairs.
Got it. Anything else?
Yes. They also have to fix general problems like not following the plans or issues with workmanship or materials within 3 months of occupation. And specifically for roof leaks caused by poor work or materials, they have 12 months to sort it out.
3 months, 12 months, 5 years. That's quite specific.
Yep.
What if a builder tries to put a clause in the contract saying these don't apply?
Can't be done. The Act is very clear.
Hmm.
Any part of an agreement that tries to exclude or waive these built-in warranties is null and void, useless.
You can't sign those rights away?
Nope. And remember the successor and title point. If you sell within that 5-year major defect warranty period, those rights automatically pass to the next owner.
That's huge.
It is. Oh, and one more practical thing. A builder can't ask for or take a deposit or any payment unless you have that proper written agreement and the home has been enrolled with the NHBRC.
Okay, so registration is about the builder, but enrollment is about the specific house. Is that mandatory too?
Yes. Enrollment is the next critical step, and it is mandatory. Registration vets the builder. Enrollment protects the specific home being built. The rule is a builder shall not commence the construction of a home until they've submitted all the paperwork and fees, and the NHBRC has accepted it and issued an enrollment certificate.
For every single home?
Every single home built by a registered builder, yes, including homes paid for with government housing subsidies. It basically puts that specific project under the NHBRC's protection.
What if a builder jumps the gun, starts building before enrolling?
Big trouble. That's a serious violation.
What happens then?
Well, they'll have to prove the house still meets all the technical standards, probably through extra costly inspections. They'll pay late enrollment fees, fix any problems found at their own cost, maybe even have to provide financial security. Plus, the council could take disciplinary action against them. It's not worth cutting that corner.
Seems like a strong deterrent. Can enrollment ever be canceled?
Yes. If the home isn't being built properly to NHBRC standards, the council can cancel the enrollment. It also gets canceled automatically if the builder goes bankrupt or loses their registration. If that happens, the council has to let the homeowner know and tell them what their options are.
Okay, this system seems layered. Registration, enrollment, warranties. But what if the worst happens? A major defect shows up, the builder is gone or broke. Is there actual financial help? You mentioned funds.
Yes, this is where the NHBRC funds come in. It's that financial safety net. The Act requires the council to have a fund specifically to help homeowners when a builder fails to fix major structural defects covered by that 5-year warranty.
So it's like an insurance payout?
Sort of, yeah, for those really serious problems. The council can also set up other funds, maybe for roof leaks, or if a builder disappears halfway through a job, or even if they ran off with your deposit, though the main mandated one is for major structural defects.
When does this fund actually pay out for a major defect?
There are conditions. The defect has to show up within the 5 years. You have to have told the builder. The builder has to have failed to fix it. And, importantly, the home must have been built by a registered builder and properly enrolled. And finally, the builder themselves must be, well, gone, liquidated, bankrupt, or genuinely unable to fix it.
So it's a last resort, but it's there.
Exactly. And if the council does pay out from the fund, they then have the right to go after the defaulting builder or anyone else who caused the problem to get that money back. It's not just free money.
That's a critical protection. No, it's not just builders and buyers involved in building a house. What about banks, lawyers, government? Did they have responsibilities under this act?
Oh, absolutely. The Act cleverly ropes in other key players to enforce compliance.
How so?
Well, banks or other financial institutions. They cannot lend you money on a mortgage for a new home unless they've checked that the builder is registered with the NHBRC and that specific home is enrolled.
So the bank acts as a gatekeeper.
In a way, yes. Same for conveyancers, the lawyers handling the property transfer. They must make sure the builder is registered, the home enrolled, and the fees paid before they register the mortgage bond.
Another checkpoint.
Exactly. And it even extends to provincial government housing departments. The MEC for Housing can't approve housing projects or give out state subsidies or pay subsidy money to a builder unless that builder is registered and the project enrolled.
Wow. So it really squeezes non-compliant builders out of the system. No finance, no public money.
That's the idea, a multi-layered accountability system.
How does the NHBRC keep tabs on everything? Inspections.
Yes, inspections are key. The council appoints inspectors. These inspectors have the right to go onto constructing sites, look around, demand to see plans and documents, ask questions.
And builders have to let them.
Yes. Obstructing an inspector is actually an offense under the Act. And if an inspector finds problems, or if a builder just isn't complying, the council can go to court
To do what?
to get an interdict. That's a court order forcing the builder to comply, or maybe ordering them to stop work altogether until things are fixed. It gives the NHBRC legal muscle.
And if they still ignore the rules, what are the penalties?
They can be quite serious. Things like lying to the council, breaking the registration or enrollment rules, messing up deposit handling, blocking inspectors, these are all offenses. Penalties can include fines up to R25,000 or even up to a year in prison for each charge. And regular magistrates' courts can impose these, making it easier to prosecute.
Okay, so real consequences. What if I, as a homeowner, have a dispute, maybe with the builder or even with a decision the NHBRC made? What are my options?
The Act provides several routes. You can take certain NHBRC decisions to the High Court for review or appeal. There's also the NHBRC's own internal complaints process you can use. And depending on the issue, you might be able to go to the public protector or pursue arbitration.
So multiple ways to seek resolution.
Yes, it aims to provide robust mechanisms, so you're not just stuck if you have a grievance.
It seems like this act really tried to cover all the angles. Did it also look towards the future at all?
Interestingly, yes. There's a provision that mandated a special committee, the Council Advisory Committee. Its job was to look into the possibility of making builders get actual insurance to cover their obligations instead of just relying on the NHBRC fund.
Ah, so moving towards a proper insurance model.
Exactly. It shows they were already thinking about how to evolve and strengthen consumer protection even further beyond the initial framework. And that's likely a direction the new 2024 Act will explore more deeply.
Right. We've definitely covered a lot of ground. The Housing Consumers Protection Measures Act of 1998, it really did lay down some critical protections for homeowners. We've seen how it set up the NHBRC as this regulator and watchdog.
Yep.
Mandated that builders have to be registered, homes have to be enrolled.
Crucial steps.
Provided those really important implied warranties, the ones that stick with the house and can't be signed away.
Absolutely vital. The 5-year structural, the roof leak, the general workmanship.
Created those financial safety nets, the funds.
A last resort, but a necessary one.
And spread the responsibility, making banks, conveyancers, even government officials part of the enforcement.
A truly integrated approach. For you, the consumer, it meant a built-in layer of security for what's often the biggest purchase you'll ever make. Real rights, real recourse.
And for anyone studying law, it's a fascinating look at how consumer protection works in practice, how you regulate an industry, the role of bodies like the NHBRC.
And how all these different players, legal, financial, technical, interact in such a critical sector like housing.
So, thinking about all this, and knowing this 1998 Act is set to be replaced, it leaves us with a question. What core principles, what fundamental protections from this Act do you think absolutely must be carried forward into any new law? What's non-negotiable to truly protect homeowners and ensure quality construction in today's market? Something to think about until our next deep dive.